They say betrayal never starts loud. It whispers. It hides inside kindness, inside laughter shared too often, inside the comfort of being seen when you shouldn't be. My name is Jemima, and every day women write to me, with stories they've carried for too long. With their consents, I will be sharing these stories with you anonymously. Some are stories of love, some of loss, but all of them are confessions of the heart. Tonight you'll hear Amma's story, a story about love that crossed a line, and the price she paid for it. This isn't gossip, it's a warning. One wrapped in loneliness, desire, and the kind of guilt that doesn't sleep. Listen and learn.
I never thought I'd tell this story. Not to anyone. Not even to myself. But secrets have a way of eating you alive, and mine. Mine has been gnawing at me for years. My name is Amma. And once, I did something unforgivable. I fell in love with my best friend's man. And I married him. She was my sister in everything but blood. Abina. We grew up together, from the same dusty classroom floors to late-night talks about the kind of men we'd one day marry. She was always the dreamer, the kind one, the girl who believed in fairy tales. And me? I was the strong one, the realist. The one who told her to stop crying when things went wrong. So when she met Kojo, I was happy for her, or at least, I told myself I was. He was charming, quiet but observant, the kind of man who listened when women spoke. Abina would call me after every date, her voice floating through the phone like music. Amma, she'd say, I think I found my person. And I'd smile, even when something deep inside me twisted just a little. They dated for 3 years. Through his job struggles, her family drama, through everything that makes or breaks a young couple. Then suddenly, they broke. She told me he'd changed. Said he became distant, cold, and she couldn't fix it. So she walked away. I was there, of course. Holding her, listening, saying all the right things. But here's the truth. When she let him go, something in me woke up. It's ugly to admit, I know. But I started thinking about him. Wondering how he was. Wondering if maybe she'd given up too soon. A few months later, Kojo reached out. Just a text, polite. He said he wanted to talk, as friends. You know that feeling when your heart knows it should run, but your body stays. That was me. We met at a small cafe, the kind where no one really knows your name. He looked tired. Wounded in a way that pulled sympathy from me like a magnet. We talked for hours. About life, about mistakes, about Abina. And when he spoke about how she'd left, I saw tears in his eyes. Something in me softened and broke. Because I wanted to be the one who stayed. That's how it started. At first, it was friendship, at least, that's what I told myself. Then the late-night calls came. The dinners. The laughter that lingered a little too long. And one evening, he held my hand. Simple. Unplanned. But it felt like crossing a border I could never return from. I remember pulling my hand away, whispering, "This isn't right." And he said, "Amma, sometimes right and wrong depend on timing." I should have left. But I didn't. We dated in secret for months. Every message, every touch, carried both excitement and shame. I'd look at Abina's old pictures on my wall and feel my stomach twist. She'd moved to another city by then. We weren't talking much. Maybe that made it easier to pretend it wasn't betrayal. When Kojo proposed, I said yes. Not because I was proud, but because I thought love would make it right. We married quietly. No big ceremony, no shared friends. And no Abina. I didn't even tell her. 4 years, I built a life on silence. A beautiful house filled with laughter and ghosts. But karma doesn't knock, it walks right in. One day, I found a message on his phone. A name I didn't know. A woman he'd been seeing for months. He said it was nothing, that it was loneliness. I almost laughed. Loneliness, the same word he once used when he held my hand. The same story, just a different woman. It broke me. Not because he cheated, but because I saw myself in her. I had become the pain I once caused. That night, I sat alone in the dark and whispered her name. Abina. For the first time in years. And I realized I'd been living inside her heartbreak all along. We divorced quietly. No drama. Just silence, the kind that follows a storm that's taken everything. People ask why I never remarried. I tell them it's because love betrayed me. But the truth, I betrayed love first. If I could speak to Abina now, I'd tell her I'm sorry. Not because I lost him, but because I lost her. That's the thing about betrayal. You think you're stealing happiness. But all you're really doing is borrowing sorrow.
When Amma wrote me that letter, I didn't know whether to pity her or scold her, but I did both. You see, every woman believes she's different until the same pain knocks on her own door. Amma learned what many refuse to learn, that you can't build joy on another woman's tears. Love stolen in the dark always returns to the dark. It's a law older than time. She wanted companionship, but she ignored conscience. And when a woman silences her conscience, she becomes the villain in her own story. I don't tell Amma's story to shame her. I tell it to remind us all, temptation doesn't look like danger until it's too late. If you have a friend's secret, guard it. If you have her trust, honor it. Because betrayal, no matter how sweet it begins, always ends with bitterness. And if you've ever been Amma, ask for forgiveness, not just from the person you hurt, but from yourself, because healing starts when truth finally stops hiding. This was Confessions with Dear Jemima, where stories that hurt teach us to heal. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. I will be reading them. Like and subscribe, as I'll see you in my next episode. Real women. Real stories. Real emotions.